Hi, my beautiful people. Welcome to my channel, Soulight, Hypnotherapy, and Tarot. My name is Kirsten. I have another Trump-related reading for you. This is a political reading, and you guys know that I've had to take my political readings to Patreon exclusively. But however, this particular reading, I would feel remiss if I did not share it with everyone. Give them an opportunity to hear it. Okay? So it's not going to be an easy one to deliver. Don't shoot the messenger. Remember, it's just an interpretation of the cards. And you may interpret it differently than I see it. This is just my interpretation, and you're on my channel for my interpretation, so I hope you will respect that. I titled the video Meatloaf, Ribeye, and Ribs. Now, what all these delicious things have in common? They're all meat. Meat and pork. I've been dreading asking this question for the longest time because I don't want to know. I don't want to know. But Rachel Maddow the other day had a segment where she was talking about the meatpacking industry and all the cover-up that's going on, you know. And I feel I need to ask the question, finally, of the cards. Why is the Trump administration... I'm just checking to see if my camera's on, because I'm not looking at the cards right now. I'm just talking to you. My questions posed to the Sibylla and Davina today is why is Trump and his administration and the meatpacking industry not sharing true numbers about the amount of infected employees there are, and why is there no formal government push on testing for these workers, for this industry? Why the cover-up? And final question, is the meat tainted? Which is why I'm afraid to ask this question. Because I am a meat eater. I like my meat. So I don't want to know the answer, but these are my questions. We start off with the brunette or dark-haired woman here in the corner. And she's a signifier for Trump and his administration and the meat packer industry, I guess, on the whole. It would be their column, all right, representing their energy. And then in the center here we have the events going on, right? Events affecting them, events affecting us. And on the right we have the collective. I went ahead and pulled two cards for the collective because this is how this is all going to affect us, and that's all that matters, right? They are only thinking about themselves. We need to think about ourselves as a collective. And this is reading for entertainment purposes only, and I am just a middle-aged woman, and these are my musings with my Sibylla and Davina on a Friday morning. Just my interpretation, and you can interpret it in any other way that you want, if you like. There is still free speech here in America, or supposed to be. So I'm just going to tell you what I see. Dark-haired woman. Represents Trump's column, the administration's column, the meatpacking industry, the powers that be, their column. Dark-haired woman says, well, just right off the bat, this can represent a secretary, right? An actual, it could represent a female, could represent a secretary, could represent someone who has secretary in their title, like Secretary of Defense. I don't know, I'm just telling you that that's how these cards work. They can represent many different things. And it depends on the question and the card surrounding it, what it means at the time. Right now, as I'm looking at it, I look at the notes that she is holding and following. So I feel that these are CDC guidelines that have been given. This card says that those guidelines are good counsel by those who have a good understanding of the situation. It says that the guidelines are good and should be followed. However, we all know that they are not being followed, as this is in our past row. What happened in the past? Next, we have what happened in the past. We have delay. So this tells me that Trump and his administration, or in the meatpacking industry, whoever these powers that be are delaying and rejecting these guidelines. And anyone who opposes or speaks out about what they're doing, they're basically stoning them, right? Casting them out, getting rid of them. They do see that the problem at the meatpacker industry, in the warehouses, they see the problem is developing and getting worse. Remember, this is in the past row, so this has already happened. This is what they're observing. They know the situation. They knew the situation was getting worse. And they received good counsel about the situation, good counsel that they should have followed but didn't. They saw that they knew that the situation was getting worse, and they did not feel they could undo or fix it. So they chose to ignore the problem and reject the information and cast out those opposing their resolution. Take it or leave it, this card says. And they forced workers back and forced out anyone opposing their actions. Strong opposition and resistance is in this card. So there is strong opposition and resistance to this movement, these actions, as well. They're being challenged by people who do oppose their actions, right? But it's all pushed back. Right now they're using all their power and their force to push back and reject with all their might. And also to reject the guidelines, because they feel that a meat shortage would definitely affect Trump's re-election, like, period. So now we go to, hopefully you guys can see, the enemy card clarified by the hope card. This represents us, me, you, red, blue, black, brown, white. All us, all God's chillin'. This is our column, and it is represented by the enemy and the hope card. It says we are an unsuspecting collective. This is us, and the enemy is just waiting around the corner to fuck us up in a deadly way. So we are an unsuspecting public dealing with a hidden enemy. And we are being put in harm's way. Right? It says that the situation is really bad and we need to avoid it, stay away from this as much as possible. And I'm talking about the meat packing workers going back to work or being in the warehouses. That's what I'm talking about, okay? That's what this reading is referring to. Oh, by the way, please, if you haven't already, would you subscribe to my channel? It's free to subscribe. And hit the like button because it helps the channel's visibility, supposedly. I really do need you to hit that like button if you like the reading so far. And just to support the channel. And you can also join me on Patreon so you can get all these readings all the time. I'm only offering this today because I feel this is a message everybody needs to have. So, but for the most part, these readings are only available on my Patreon. So join me there. There's a link in my description box. It's only $5 a month. And support the channel. Thank you. Alright, so this is the collective. Like I said, we are the unsuspecting public being put in harm's way, and the situation is really bad. We need to stay away and avoid this if we can. That's a message from Spirit to the collective, to those workers. Okay? You need to avoid this if you can. It's saying don't do it. Don't go back. Don't even be forced to. Your job's not worth your life or the life of others. Right? We are the collective and they are the workers. We're not being told the truth, it says. The situation is fake, 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 and adulterated comes to mind. Now, I think I'm a pretty smart girl. Above average usually in testing, but no big city lawyer, and I don't really use words like adulterated, but that word just popped into my mind, right? I don't really know what it means, so I looked it up, okay? And because I got that the meat is adulterated, and my question was, is the meat tainted? I looked up the word adulterated that came to me out of the blue, from nowhere, and its definition is, it means to be inferior, to be of poor quality, to be spoiled, degraded, impure, and tainted. So there's your answer. The meat is tainted, guys, with the virus. Creating a great dilemma for us and for me, right? For all of us, because that's serious, and we have no concrete proof. We have no truth coming out. When we don't know this, they don't want us to know this. So a great dilemma. What do we do? Do you base your dietary changes on something that a middle-aged reader gave you? You know? Do you just ignore it and hope for the best? And hope for the best, right? We got the hope card. Well, most of us are going to want to hope for the best, right? Even me. I'm hoping for the best. I just had some bacon. Because the majority of us would rather reject this information, ignore this information, because it's just too much to handle. Especially with everything else going on. Now you want to take my meat too? But the reality needs to be faced and dealt with, this card is saying. Further messages from these cards are saying that we are being deceived. We, the collective, are being deceived with targeted lies, and it is evil. Not wrong, evil. And anyone telling you what I'm telling you will be branded a liar, targeted, and shunned. So there's my warning. Well, it's already happened. Hope is here. Remember that. In spite of our doubts, in spite of our fears, we as a collective and the workers are hoping for the best. What else can we do but hope? Right? That's how we feel. We're hoping that the situation isn't as bad as we feel it is, as we sense it is, right? As we know we should be, cautious that it might be that it is. And they don't want us to lose confidence in the meat. That's what I'm being told. We don't want to lose confidence in the meat either. We really don't want to lose confidence in the meat. Oh, God. I gotta take a, give me a minute, I gotta take a drink. This cranberry juice. It's still early, no vodka in it. Presently, Trump, his administration, powers that be, meat packers. Trump and his administration, represented by the tenderness card, a card of reassurance, right? But it's reversed. So they're turning a blind eye, not caring, not showing emotion, right? Just the opposite of what she would be upright. Not caring, not showing emotion to the situation or to the collective or to the workers. In fact, they're using the information gathered to cause harm intentionally. Didn't I tell you we're being put in harm's way intentionally, it says, and confirmed it. And remember I said that there will be those who are targeted with lies and deceit. So they're targeting others with and this information in a way that will cause harm and, in a sense, weaponize what's going on to their advantage. They don't care. Although they're very nervous, though. Trump says, this card says that Trump is going to do something very embarrassing, even more mortifying than he's already done, more mortifying than injecting bleach suggestions, or it's very soon. It's in the present position. So expect him to do something even more mortifying and stupid in the upcoming future, very soon. Trump and his administration and these powers that be are standing or doubling down in their intentions to do harm and to carry out an injustice against the rest regarding the situation. And they're utilizing a energy and mentality of anger and bitterness towards opposition. This card tells me that the affection for Trump and for the meat will lessen and cool, right? Low desire for passion or desire for these energies, Trump and the meat and the whole administration, the whole thing. People are getting tired of this, and people's affections and desire for Trump and the meat will lessen and cool. We are seeing that right now, right? A drop in the polls for Trump, and that's going to get greater. And also less people choosing meat, I feel, as well. The events causing this is the visit reversed. Just letting you see what the card looks like upright. The visit came out reversed. These are the events causing this. Less than reassuring actions on the part of the administration, right? They're not even trying to do testing. Instead, it's more like a campaign against anyone who wants it. With the events, the visit reverse, it says, due to lack of testing, as I was just diatribing about, it says, due to lack of testing, greater deaths and fatalities will rise. Hasty steps taken are at the root and cause of all this. And I'm seeing some kind of a visit to perhaps a meatpacking plant to assure the public. Or maybe it's an invite to assure the public. What will happen? Will the invite be taken? Will the visit be made? I'm not sure. There's something here that's not reassuring. They're not reassured about that. They don't feel safe to do that. I feel like maybe it's an invite to come visit a meatpacking plant with your mask off, Trump. With not wearing a mask. Go visit a meatpacking plant with your mask off, Trump. To reassure us. Can you do that? The card says promises and assurances will not be implemented. So I don't count on it. But someone ought to invite him. That would be a good thing to see. I would love that. Sorry, I'm getting upset. Tired of this shit. Says that they are not budging. Trump administration, the powers that be, they're not budging. They're not going to do more testing. They're not going to make it a federal matter to ensure that it happens. They're not changing their stance on the matter. They're digging in. Consultant represents the collective. So this is someone talking to us, right? Clarified by the weakness card. Here, I believe, this card represents wise advice that is being given to the collective. He's upright, so it says his information is trustworthy. The advice that should be taken no matter how hard it is to swallow. Somebody's giving us advice that we should take no matter how hard it is to swallow. I'm giving you advice right now to take that no matter how hard it is to swallow, and I need to take it too, right? It's going to be hard for us all to swallow this information that this person is going to be giving us. This could be a male or a female. I'm seeing two. I'm seeing a male and a female. It could be at different times. It doesn't matter. It could be a doctor or a scientist who's giving this advice to the collective on what's going on, right? And it's good advice. It should be followed. It says that we will be willing to listen to this advice. So that's good. We're willing to listen to the advice. So I feel like this is something that on a time frame is probably happening after we see a rise in more in deaths, fatalities, a rise in increase in corona. In these meatpacking plants, we're going to see some sort of get some sort of information about that, and we'll be privy to that knowledge, right? There may be a lessening or cooling for the meat, and at this time, maybe someone will finally speak to us, right, and talk to us and tell us the truth. Okay. I'm sorry, someone was talking in the background, totally threw me off. Just give me a second. Alright, now this could be someone talking to us, like I said, about the situation, someone who has integrity that we should trust, right? Or this could be someone speaking out as well. This could be somebody speaking out who has some integrity, a good reputation, and we should respect whatever they're saying. It says it's coming from a sincere place, the information and the guidance about the problem, about the illness, about the virus, about its effects on us, about its effect on the meat, maybe, right? Weakness here represents the pill that is so hard for us to swallow. The truth is what's so hard for us to swallow. This advice and these guidelines. That the situation, the meat, and even symptoms of the virus, okay? That's what they're talking about. That's what's being shared. They're talking about the meat. They're talking about symptoms of the virus and the situation, okay, on a whole. And they're telling us, or whoever this is telling us, that the situation is sick. The meat is sick, toxic, and should be immediately treated. if you have these symptoms, you need to get immediate treatment. Something like that. It's probably all three of these things, right? Because they're all strong in my head. Saying that right choices and decisions need to be made, right? Choices that we can make and choices that our administration and president should be making, but chooses not to. But we need to make them for ourselves. But there's a part of us, many of us, that don't want to face or deal with this particular issue. Many of us don't want to believe and want to hold on to hope. And that includes myself. I just had some bacon. Jesus. I'm picking up that the meat needs to be treated with a lot of heat. It needs to be washed really well and treated with a lot of heat, cooked really thoroughly. No rare meats, okay? No medium rare, well-cooked meat. Wash it thoroughly, well-cooked meat. If you're handling the meat raw, wear gloves. Wash the meat thoroughly with salt. And rinse it thoroughly. And cook the meat well. Maybe that's the advice that's being given. Or maybe that's the advice I'm giving you you should take. Because I don't know what they're going to tell us, guys. That's why it's getting harder and harder to read these readings, and why it's getting me more and more upset every day. Because the corruption is so thick. It's unfucking real. Okay. Slow your roll, girlfriend. Slow your roll. Okay, so I'm picking up, like I said, that the meat needs to be treated, washed well, and cooked well. There's also information about signs and symptoms of the virus. Fever, headaches, and weakness are sure signs of the virus, and you should pay attention to that and immediately get treatment. Get tested, get treatment. If you have fever, headaches, weakness, sure signs of the virus, get immediate treatment. They're starting to say that the surfaces and touch doesn't pass on the virus. That's a lie. Have gloves on when you wash the meat, or wash your hands thoroughly after holding the meat if you don't want to wear gloves. Okay? If there are signs of fever, headache, and weakness consistently, these are strong signs that the virus is present and around you. Maybe that's what they're telling us, right? I don't think it's the only sign, though. I think it is a sign, but I don't think it's the only sign. I mean, it's an invisible enemy. We don't see it coming. So more of the same, take precautions, wash, do all these things is what they're telling us, right? But they're also offering us the hopeful information that, or I'm offering you the hopeful information that, you can eat the meat if you take these certain precautions. There could be someone else here reassuring us about the meat as well. There could be more than one person when they reassure us, if they ever do. This is coming a little bit later. Let me see if I can adjust my I think that there may be some news as well, more news about treatments. There therapeutics or vaccines for the corona that's going to be reassuring coming from this source. And they're saying this to try and steady us. They're saying this to try and steady us and reassure us. But I say to you, I'm saying to you as a collective to make your own choices and decisions based on factual evidence that you trust. And that's all I can tell you to do. Other than that, you're on your own. Let me lift up my board a little bit so you can see the bottom and we can finish the reading. So where is the situation headed? In Trump's corner, administration of powers that be, dealing with this meat packing, we have a lot of money reversed. Big loss of money, capital, business, big economic losses. A gamble or a risk that loses, doesn't pay off. A reduction in the availability going forward. And any type of sanctions made to reduce the susceptibility to the virus is not helpful. Sanctions upon or boycotts on meat or specified companies with huge outbreaks. That's what I'm seeing. Big economic crash coming and heavy losses and fatalities. That's what I'm seeing. Even bigger than right now. As of today, when I laid this reading, actually, I laid this reading yesterday. As of today, I'm recording it, but I laid this reading on May 21st, 2020. Bigger economic crash, heavy losses and fatalities, even than we have right now on this day. Events causing this, we have the thought card. This is this deck's depression card, right? Gloomy thoughts. Yeah, there are gloomy thoughts about depression and worst case scenarios, which I do see in the future coming true. They are coming true. There's a lot of skepticism around the information on both sides about the meat, okay? Especially due to the lack of clarity and knowledge and truth coming out of the powers that be. And also, there's a lot of skepticism about the virus because of the same reason. Too little knowledge about it for people to make clear, informed decisions, and too much disinformation from the authorities. Nobody knows what to believe. That's what I see going forward. More skepticism, and nobody knows what to believe. And there's a lot of opposition to what's being said. And you have to ask yourself, do you want to live in fear and uncertainty because of an unknown? Do you want to be in that fear and uncertainty for an unknown amount of time? Or do you want to go back to work, feed yourself for however long that lasts? Damn, those aren't good choices. There's a lot of insecurity and foreboding in this card. And when I clarified these two cards, I clarified them with some Lenormands. And I got the key, the mice, and the anchor using my friend's deck. She created this deck. She's now called the Love Psychic Coach on YouTube. But her original site was Power Life Hypnosis. So you guys should check out these cards. They're really helpful. If you're learning Lenormand, I'm not a big Lenormand fan, but sometimes they just get straight to the point. So key and the mice combinations can mean that there's an openness and a vulnerability to theft, bullying, and being cheated, right? This clarifies what's going on with our government and the outcome of it, right? There's vulnerability to theft, bullying, and being cheated. Boundaries and standards are violated. There's a secret intruder into the meat packing. A secret intruder. It sneaks in. It comes in secretly, it says. Right? And also there are secrets. secrets going on behind our back, stuff that there's being hidden from us. Insight into what is unhealthy, lack of understanding, and a lack of inspiration. Dwindling ingenuity, meaning they've run out of ideas. They don't know what to do. And any idea they come up with is a bad idea. The solution seems impossible. And no solution seems impossible. And there's a loss of hope. Just take it or leave it. Go out, feed yourself for however long that lasts. Wow. Loss of stability due to a loss of a foothold. Dang. Unhealthy status quo. Holding on is draining. The sneakiness, the corruption, the rumor is hard to get rid of. It's going to stick. Stuck in poverty. We'll be in this depression for a while. Holding on to the meat. Holding on to the hope. Holding on to trying to hold on to the presidency, but it's dwindling. So I see the meat supply dwindling, right? Because there's going to be a rise in deaths. Don't let my meat be taken away. Ooh. So I know this message is not welcomed by anybody. I don't want to hear it either. Pray over your meat, man. And like I said, wash it good and cook it well. Pray over it. Do your pendulum over it, and neutralize any bacteria or viruses lingering on my meat. I'm serious. To the collective, your message is the sincere friend and the impediment card. So, a message of reassurance. Again, another message of reassurance. This comes later, right? This could be coming from a female expert. I hope I'm not just reading what I need to hear for myself, and I'm being objective, right? Because I really can't deal with this. But the sincere friend is patting us on the back, putting her hand on our shoulder, and she's reassuring. She's saying that this has confirmed what I told you. Okay, all right, girl, all right, okay. She's telling me that you can trust what you said. Okay, all right, okay, thank you. Thoroughly wash the meat, thoroughly cook the meat, wear your gloves. Wash your hands really good after handling meat. It's valuable, valid, and good advice, she says. All right? And she reaffirms that this advice here is good too. Advice that will be given later is good too. Could also be referring to a solution to treat the meat in a positive way coming up in the future. Maybe there will be a solution coming up soon. There is a vaccine coming. My cards have told me this before. I told you already in my first Corona reading, which I'll link to the back of this video, around Christmas time. So around the end of 2020, or perhaps around the new year, 2021, early in 2021, there will be some sort of therapeutic. It's not a vaccine cure. I feel like it will slow down the virus or slow down the spread or cut the symptoms in some way. Right? That's a possibility if right actions could be taken. As a message to the country, the cards are saying that we should work with others. And when I say others, I'm assuming it's meaning with other countries. The cards are saying, Spirit is saying, that we should work with others to find a solution. Put all of our scientific heads and minds together, and the solution will be found. It says the solution will be found. It's not going to be easy, though, impediment, right? Because this is going to be a real uphill battle to do this, because there's many obstacles and opinions in the way. other things that other people think are more important. Also, any of you wanting to change from meat to vegetarian, that's going to be difficult. I would say buy stock in Beyond Meat, right? Hey, buy stock in Beyond Meat. I have a feeling their stock is going to go up. Or any other kind of good vegetarian food product. You guys want to leave comments of what's good vegetarian prepared meals, because I don't know. Or cookbooks or something. Leave the information. Ultimately, though, I think many in the collective will choose to eat their meat. They may slow down some consumption quite a good deal, though, enough to cause some panic and distress to that industry, right? I see the collective becoming much more picky and selective, slowing down consumption of meat, especially from any known places or brands where there have been there has shown information or evidence of heavy breakouts. Thus, the economic collapse here, the loss of faith, and more skepticism about any information coming out. So that's my reading, guys. I hope that everybody is taking precautions and wearing their mask and also wearing gloves. I go to a lot of grocery stores because I do the shopping for my household, and the only place to go is the grocery stores or the drugstores, and a lot of people working there aren't wearing the gloves. They wear the mask, but I don't see them wearing gloves. And I think it's because they can't use the touch screens. That's why. They need to figure that out, because everybody should be wearing gloves too. So guys, I don't want to scare you. I just want you to be aware that I'm pretty sure everybody's going to get the corona, okay? Everybody's going to get it eventually. Either it's going to do its thing or it's going to pass. Everybody's going to get it. This thing is big. It's huge. And a lot more lives are going to be lost. That's why they don't want you to know the numbers. So be careful and take this seriously. And is your job more important or your health? It's up to you. You have to make choices for yourself, because right now the guidance that we receive from our powers that be will not help us. All right, but there are wise minds that are still here and do want to help us. Use your instincts to know who those are. All right, God bless you guys. Be safe. Bye.